As we look there on the down on the holding area, the 95 there of Dan Thornhill, changing to yellow on the Chambers KTM, and the 190 of Luke Benstead, 22 Travis Steele's in there as well. But yeah, that MX1 race then, a great start from Adam Sterry on the Chambers KTM, but he did not get to hang on to that lead. But what I will say is, I think I said to you before, Jeff, that he was definitely looking down at the rear of that bike as he came across the line. So whether there was some technical, a puncture, a problem with the rear wheel or the rear brake or something, because he did seem to give up quite a lot of time fairly quickly. Caught us on the hop with the live timing, so we actually missed the pass. And Conrad just then kind of cantered away at a rate that I would not have expected him to do. So maybe if you get a chance to talk to Adam Sterry at some point, we can find out what that is. And obviously the Prox update that you're going to do after the meeting. Yeah, they're the kind of things that we need to find out.
Absolutely, yeah. The guys will be going round. Don't forget to watch that in the week, as we said, the Prox pit pass. Our team are actually going to go round and just speak to the riders. That's not something I'm going to actually do, but
yeah, we have got a great team.
We've got a great team of people
doing all the social stuff.
Yep.
We don't have to do that. We're kind of stuck in our little hutch all day, calling the action as we see it on screen. But we've got a great backroom team going out there and getting all the stuff done for the socials. They've done all the promo and got everything ready for us, and it's been absolutely great. You can see track is looking absolutely on point. All the banners and driving in on Friday afternoon, it just looked really, really nice. And it's been the fact that we've been blessed with great weather and great racing. I think it's kind of the start to the season that everybody needed.
Absolutely. And as we said, so many brands getting involved. I'm actually being quite taken back. I've been involved with this a long time. British Motocross, obviously was part of the fastest 40 team that have now, taken over this British Championship. So, but the amount of sponsors, new sponsors, real high-end brands in our sport getting behind it, manufacturers jumping on board, Honda, Kawasaki, Triumph, that's a good start. We're going to get to a point
there taking in a bit of sun look.
They're the real unsung heroes. You've got the St. John ambulance taking care of everybody here, and soaking it up. I bet they're thinking, God, I wish I could take this top off and get a bit of raise. But it's starting to get a little bit chillier out there as the sun goes down and the wind is still kind of whipping up. But kudos to those guys, and I'll say it right now before we forget, all our track marshals, everybody, all the people that you don't see that do what they do. So big kudos to them. And of course, like we said, all our sponsors. So actually, before we get the gate drop on this one, let's go throw to a few adverts. Don't go anywhere, because as soon as the adverts are finished, we're back with the gate drop for the final moto of the day.
So we are back on the line then for the final Apico MX1 race. The 411 there of Declan Whittle on the Lings Triumph comes to the line. And the 711 slots there in behind him. That's James Cottrell. He was a DNF in the first race. Louis Kessel there on the KTM. All these bikes pulled down hard. There's the 220 of Josh Canton. He comes all the way from Haverfordwest, right in the west of Wales.
That's out there, isn't it?
It is out there.
That road seems to go on forever.
So let's not forget, as they come to the line, this was done in the order of fastest lap comes to the grid first, so almost certainly that will have been Conrad Mewse. Adam Sterry in there as well.
Yes.
Tristan Purdon. That was your top 3 in Moto 1 with Josh Gilbert, Jamie Carpenter and Brad Todd rounding out the top 6.
I just want to highlight one of our series sponsors are actually racing in this race. There's Jake Preston. You can't quite see him now on the JPR KTM. He's the second one in.
The Substance KTM,
so Jake is obviously Spiral Graphics. That's his company, and they are one of our graphics partners, our series graphics partners. So big up Jake for getting behind the series and also racing it.
Yeah, we've got a few DNFs in the first one. Charlie Putnam was a DNF. He was going really well until obviously he tipped off somewhere. So he did 10 laps. James Cottrell, Thomas Murphy, obviously we saw Martin Barr, and Charlie Cole was a DNF as well. So the Phoenix Tour Fantic man did not make the finish, and there's a few gaps on the start line there. So we'll just that will obviously be why we've got a few short on the line. But we wait. Then here we go. 5 seconds. Away they go. Oh, who's made the whole shot? Looks like another rider from the outside, Jeff.
Yeah, that is the favourable line. I think this live stream's giving it away. That looks at Jamie Carpenter. I think it's it.
Yeah, that's a Honda. It's definitely a Honda at the front, and I don't think it's Muse. I think it might be Carpenter. You could be right.
Obviously, they're teammates in the same kit, but that looked like Jamie's style to me.
It did. Or they all make their way through.
Could have been Gilbert.
Through. Yeah. Oh my. There's Preston in there.
Let's see. When they get out into the open field, middle section, we'll be able to tell you who that is. I think that's Carpenter that's got the whole shot.
I think it's Ben Edwards. I think that was the 33 of Ben Edwards.
Could be.
So there's the 912 of Joel Rizzi on the Dirt Store 450 Triumph. He's making his debut on that bike. British champion. Oh, somebody's gone down there on the other side of that jump. Oh, so he had to swerve to miss that. So there was a rider down there, but I thought it was Edwards that took the whole shot. Well, that's definitely Sterry.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, it is Edwards there now on the
Edwards
inside.
Back
God, I thought he was going to get landed on there.
Oh, we were hanging on to each other on the chairs there. So that was a massive move. Was that Conrad or was that Carpenter?
I think that's Conrad, isn't it?
I think it is. Oh, big kick from the back end again, just to make things easy.
Well, we're about to find out when they go across the line. We'd like to think so. Live timing will actually update on our screens, but it's not, which is typically annoying.
But it's Sterry that's going to lead him up the hill for the
Gilbert.
first time.
That's actually Gilbert.
Oh, that was a massive move from Gilbert as we go to the drone shot. And here's Sterry at the top of the hill for the first time. Our Planet Length Moto first lap leaders, Sterry from Gilbert, from Edwards, from Mio and Brad Todd. So that's your top 5. Muse back in 13th. So,
God, if he wasn't happy in the first race, he's not going to be happy in this one. That's an even worse start.
Yeah.
He's going to have to really get the hammer down in this one.
I would really like to know who it was who went down. It was definitely one of the top 5 that went down over that tabletop on the far side, because Rizzi had to properly step on it to miss him, and he'd been on the ground a while, I think, as they come out of the darkness of what was the Bright Bell hairpin, which is now very much not. On the first lap of this final Apico MX1 race.
Great start for Ben Edwards. Ben can ride, man. He can absolutely, like, these conditions are, like we said, plenty of tracks like this up at Scotland. He's made a good start. So I'd like to see Ben, if he can, dig deep, hold on to a nice solid top 10, maybe even higher in this one.
So Sterry then leads away again for the second time. Didn't take the whole shot, but he was there to make the pass on Edwards down the back end of the circuit and led into the Honda hole on lap 1. And again, it'll be interesting to see how his pace goes. Like I say, not getting to speak to these guys between races now, so very difficult. But there's Gilbert. Edwards is still hanging on in 3rd. Mio then in 4th. Todd 5th. Adamson 6th. Purdon 7th. Jamie Carpenter 8th. Carlton Husband 9th. And James Cottrell in 10th. Martin Barr out in 11th. So Barty managing to get himself back on the grid after that tumble in race 1.
Both of these riders, obviously, if they take a race win, huge confidence boost. But I think Gilbert in particular, if he can get a race win in this one, I think that will really help him with his the GPs.
Yes.
This year, give him another little boost of confidence going into them. He's starting to put the heat up. I think he's closed a little bit on that lap.
Be interesting to see where Muse was. Like 13th across the line, 10 seconds adrift at the end of lap 1. And as they go up the hill then, nice line there from Gilbert, just getting taking a little bit of the higher line and jumping over the bumps on the way up the hill. And he's always, thought he'd overrun that then and got the wrong side. You have no idea how steep that last little bit is, let alone the bit further down. And in fact, if you can see, that is the banner at the back of the start straight in the background there. That just shows you how steep that is.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm just seeing Conrad Mewse up to 7th is showing on your screen there, but I'm checking his lap times. Quickest Phoenix Tools lap of the race so far is by your race leader, Adam Sterry, with a time of 2:19.018. So he's quickest. Mewse last time around, let's just have a quick look, 2:21, so he's 2-3 seconds quicker than the riders in front of him. I'd expect him to be in a couple of laps at least up to Ben Edwards in third.
Yeah, I think Mewse has just got the better of Carpenter there to move into 6th, but it's really difficult to tell as they came out of the light, out of the dark into the light, but there was definitely a group there and Mewse was working his way through. But there is Gilbert. Sterry just a few seconds up the road, 1.5 as they crossed the line last time.
Well, the beauty of this 2-moto format that we have, and of course with the points differential, you get that extra 3 points for a race winner, 25 points, 22nd.
Yeah.
Conrad's got to win it. Because Sterry, if it stays like it is, he can't. Even if he gets up to 2nd, it's not going to cut it.
I mean, that age-old thing, a second's as good as a win. No, it's not. But in this case, Sterry is in the box seat. Here they come then. And these guys have checked out quite a long way. It was Ben Edwards still in 3rd. But Gilbert is still keeping Adam Sterry honest at the front. But the rest of the field not even into sight. The Chambers KTM then makes his way round to complete another lap. One thing, I tell you what, who I do think have had a nice day today is the mechanics. Because these bikes have come back and they're looking really they're not hammered to death, they're not steaming, they're not absolutely plastered in sand. They never have an easy day.
No,
but this is an easy day at Hawkstone as they will ever have.
I was going to say, careful what you say, Phil. You have the mechanics union on our back, and we don't want that.
Yeah. But Gilbert then chasing down Sterry. Will try, if we keep this shot. This is how far they're already on the way back down the hill. And our 3rd place man of Ben Edwards, he isn't even in sight.
Well, he's holding strong, though. I mean, it's a good ride here for Ben.
In fact, that looked like Edwards had gone back 1 to 4.
Adamson made the
Adamson past him, yes. So that means that Conrad is still there in fifth position.
But he was right there. I saw him in the background, so he's right there. I should imagine that he would probably, by the end of this lap, go past Adamson and Edwards, the speed that he's coming through the pack. But my God, he has still got some work to do from there, even when he gets into 3rd. Because he's got to win it. As we said, if Sterry wins this one, even if Conrad gets a 2nd, it's not going to cut it.
No.
The overall race victory will go to the Chambers KTM rider of Adam Sterry, your current race leader.
And it will be a nice return to the British scene full time for Adam Sterry. He does come and do the odd British Championship round wherever possible when his German commitments from last season allowed him to. So he's not a stranger to racing here, but being back on a British-based team for quite a long while. And as I said earlier on in the broadcast, Jeff, he's definitely that year that he was on the factory 250 KTM, the Crone Racing team that. For him and Henry Jacobi, that was one of his best seasons, and if he'd just had another year at it, I figure that he could have really given himself an elevation into 450 that he ran out of time to get. You can see the ruts on the landing there in that sandpit as he flies in, just flips the top.
Yeah, I think that some of them
was a
lovely.
Lot nicer. Yeah, that
pushed
was
it down. But I'm intrigued with the gap. I think you could see in the background going into what would have been the old Whoop section. Was either John Adamson or Conrad Muse or Ben Edwards. I think it was John Adamson.
Yeah,
that's the gap. I mean, the gap now between 3rd and 2nd is growing. Yes. So it's not going the other way. So we got to hope that, or Conrad's got to hope that he's got to put some moves on, make some early moves, and just try and bridge that gap.
A ride there in the holding area. Can't quite see the number on that one. It does look like a Kawasaki. And
looks like Gilbert is now starting to actually close in a bit. I'll just hold this. Let's hold this because this shows the gap that Conrad's going to have to peg back if he's even already up to 3rd, which I think he might be. Yeah, there he is. Right. That's what he's got to pull back.
Right, so
that is a lot.
In that last lap, he's taken a massive amount of time out of these two guys, which is fine.
Yeah, absolutely. But now he's got clear track. He's going to have to make it count. We are, well, I'd like to say if my time, we're only 8:42 on the clock of a 25 plus 2. Long way to go.
We saw this in the last one. Look, it's a long race. A lot can happen. But like I say, if my kind of, not spidey sense, but I have a feeling that Sterry just had a little bit of an issue in that one because his drop-off was more than I would have expected. That's getting really chewed out there on the landing there, Jeff. That looks horrific. And again,
of course it is. It's motocross.
But the thing about it being dry and making it nice is also what makes bits of the track like that are awful, which would be much better if it's wet. But there goes Conrad then, over that jump in the centre of the circuit.
17 seconds, roughly. Maybe a little bit more, give or take. He's behind Sterry in this one, who's currently leading it. And Josh Gilbert, by the way, is now starting to close in. Last time around, he pulled a... Oh, no, they're back and forth. Basically, at the front, they're kind of yo-yoing on times. This is the one. The next 2 laps, this is where we'll see if now with a clear track, if Conrad is going to start taking chunks out of the 2 in front of him.
And what we need to understand as well from the lap times is he... are the others coming back to him, or is he making headway?
Yeah, exactly.
Because if their lap times stay as they are, that's going to make it pretty difficult.
So last time around, both the leaders recorded a lap time in 2:18 bracket. Conrad was a 2:19.
We've got a yellow flag there on this jump. Hopefully that's not one of our race leaders. Don't think it is. Come under the bridge. Not quite sure who that will be. But our race leader then already over the line. 1.5 seconds the gap from Sterry to Gilbert, according to our K-Tech tower.
Let's see. Ah, well, get this. Wow, that last time around we didn't see it because we were following Conrad. Josh Gilbert has gone into the lead while we were watching Conrad Mewse. So Gilbert's gone into the lead, and in doing so, set the quickest lap of the race. So he is now the Phoenix Tools quickest lap of the race leader with a time of, he was for about 16 seconds because Conrad Mewse has now gone quickest with a time of 2:17.2. But the point I'd like to make there is he's not taking chunks. He's only taken tenths.
A little bit. So let's have a look then. So is this...
So he literally took only 0.2 of a second out of Gilbert. He took a full second out of Sterry.
It's not going to be enough. So there's Sterry. And Gilbert then should just be in front of him. There he is on track. So at the moment, this is a 2-2. It's suddenly not going to be enough for Adam Sterry. Gilbert is, well, it's an impressive ride from the Lexer MX Honda rider. He's definitely wanted a bit of it. Oh, Sterry just had a little lent into it a little bit there. And, yeah, it's 14 seconds is the gap. So Conrad is definitely coming, but there is your race leader, the 3.26 of Josh Gilbert on the Lexer MX Honda. His teammate John Adamson currently sitting in 4th position.
So as it stands at the minute, Conrad will win the overall with a 1-3. Sterry will go second with a 2-2. Gilbert, I think, will end up the 3rd position. He got a, what was it in the first race? He got a 4th, so a 4-1.
Sterry's back in the lead. A big mistake then for Gilbert. He ran right off the edge of the track.
Is his bike steaming a bit?
No, I think he went into some wet down the bottom end and got caught in the sand. Had just caught the steam. So Gilbert made a mistake, ran wide, and Sterry back to the lead.
Okay, well, that is going to have implications again on the overall. So now the pendulum swings back.
You weren't even halfway through telling us how Conrad was going to win.
And now Sterry is now back in the driving seat with regard to the overall.
Has Gilbert gone, or is he just dropping back? Because it was a big mistake, but whether it was a mechanically induced mistake, I do not know.
That's a big gap suddenly.
It is a bow. We've got the.
Okay, let's hold it on this if we can, because Gilbert's dropped way back.
No, there's Gilbert. So it was
a mistake. It
was a mistake. So there's Gilbert, and then Conrad needs to be coming in. And there's Conrad.
Oh, my God. Right, let's check the times. Because if
11 seconds then.
Wow, there you go. Wow. So, okay, here we go. The Phoenix Tour's fastest lap of the race is now Conrad Mewse again. So here he's starting to get a march on now. So 2:16.5. He's got the gap down to 16 seconds still, though, to the race leader.
I'll tell you what. So it's coming down. It's 11.
Yeah.
They've checked out. Jamie Carpenter now into 4th. He's passed John Adamson. Todd 5th. Edwards has gone back to 6th. Husband 2nd. He's there in 8th on the Phoenix Talks Fantic. Then it's Mio, and then finally the number 10 of Mira. So he's backing that up. But here it is, race leader, and now back in the box seat for the overall, Adam Sterry.
I'm not much of a betting man, Phil, but I'm going to go on a limb here and say it's only one of these 3 for the overall.
There's no flies on you, but you can see where they've been.
Oh dear. Well, yeah, that should be. Right now, as we said, this rider, the Chambers KTM rider of Adam Sterry, come up there in North Wales. As we said, this was he's ridden plenty of times here growing up, coming through the ranks. Very much a bit of him. And like I said, Phil seems to, like we got quite sure. We think he had maybe a little issue towards the end of the opening moto that slowed him down with technical issue with the bike. Be interesting to see, because it was a bit like he kind of hit the wall a bit.
Yeah, but Adam, look, there's nobody fitter than Adam Sterry. He just isn't an unfit guy. He trains and trains and trains. You see him in the pits. He's a professional athlete. So just literally as he came down this bit of the track, he got to about here on the last lap, and he just had to look down at the back of the bike as if a puncture or a moose or whatever, something was definitely not right. And we'll see if how this is going to come down. But he just needs to keep it going.
Well, he's had a good lap here. A good lap in the sense of he's had a good lap, but he's also had the benefit of Gilbert dropping right off the pace and making that mistake. So that's gone in his favour.
The gap back to Conrad was 11 seconds, and I think it is still over 10. So at this rate...
It is still over 10, for sure.
At this rate, he's looking like he might be okay. And then we see at the top of the hill, Conrad Mewse closing in then on Josh Gilbert as they just drop down out of sight. So... Muse then will make the pass on Gilbert as they come down the hill.
Yeah, so Conrad is now just over 10 seconds off the race leader, Sterry. He's just
shy out there, out the shadows. Who's it going to be? Or is it Conrad going to dive down the inside?
Just didn't quite pan around with the guys there. I reckon Conrad had the line there.
Yeah.
Let's see. We'll soon find out. Okay, so if he's made the move on Gilbert, now he has clear real estate.
Yes.
Nobody in his way, a clear track. Yep, so he made the move. There it is. So here we go. It's a repeat of the opening moto. Very much so, but he can't settle for second. They are currently tied on points. Basically, they both got 47 points each, but the rule in motocross, if you're new to this game, it's if it's a tie on points, it is the better second moto result that gets the priority.
Yes.
And right now, Conrad is on a 1-2.
He is. So
not a 2-1.
It's a 2-1 that's going to take the victory for Adam Sterry as it sits at the moment. And if Conrad Muse makes the pass, he'll go 1-1 and he will take overall victory. But it's in his hands. Sterry has just got to try and keep her. How are we doing for time, Jeff?
Well, if those gremlins stay out of the system and this thing keeps working, we're on 17 minutes and 15 seconds. So there you go. We've still got 7 minutes plus 2 laps. So plenty of time. You're basically looking at around another 11, 12 minutes of moto time to go. That is enough time for Conrad to claw it back. It's coming down. Is it going to come down quick enough?
A little bit of a mistake there from Sterry.
Oh, I see him have a little look over his shoulder to see.
No, that was Conrad. So Sterry's already through.
Yeah, but Conrad was just looking across to see where Sterry is. So he's got visuals on him. Makes a big difference, doesn't it, as a rider when you can see him on the same part of the track. Suddenly you get that extra little bit of emphasis. You find extra energy levels. But he's absolutely hammering it now.
6.3 seconds. Sterry's...
he's coming now.
Yeah, so there Sterry goes out of shot. Here comes Conrad Muse into shot. So... the man on the True 7, Crendon Honda, is doing as he did in race 1. I'll say he's keeping his powder dry. He's had to ride really, really hard. That was Tristan Purdon going through shot there. So Purdon obviously had an off somewhere. Don't know where he is in the overall standings, but he's definitely not going to back up his third place in Moto 1 because it's currently there is Josh Gilbert. A great ride from Jamie Carpenter then. Conrad Muse's teammate is a long way adrift, 30 seconds, but he's there in 4th, just in front of Brad Todd in 5th, who's now found his way past John Adamson. So the man on the DK Bike Sport Newcastle Honda, Brad Todd, the Scottish champion, he's going to back up his 6th in the first race with a 5th in race 2 as it stands at the moment. Edwards is there in 6th, Adamson has dropped to 7th, Husband 8th, Mira 9th, and Martin Barr in 10th. Matthew Meo dropping down the leaderboard. He's 11th. Rizzy is in 12th. Luke Benstead in 13th. Liam Knight 14th. And Tom Murphy in 15th. And the last of the point scorers, the 103, is Max Broadbelt. He scored a point in the first one. He's there 16th. The 401 Jack Beniston. Nunn in 18th. Whittle in 19th. And Dan Thornhill in 20th.
Conrad there, just pushing into that jump on the angle. That was sublime. Yeah, just going back to the top sharp end of the top 10. So John Adamson, who was running up there, he's still there in 7th, but he's slipped back a couple, so he must have made a mistake.
He's gone. He's just and a bit again. He's recovering from that big off.
Oh yeah.
Sterry not making the leap into the sandpit. He just got
look at this, just like that.
So Sterry then. Wow. Under pressure now. Conrad is going to be all over the back of him when they get to the drone shot at the top of the hill. Almost certainly. In fact, it's not even going to be that long. So maybe the pace that we saw at the end of the race in race 1 was just Adam Sterry giving everything that he could through the whole moto, and as a result, he's coming under pressure. But here they go up the hill. Then Sterry goes up the left-hand side. Here goes Conrad. They got back markers to deal with as they're making their way through the shadow. Sterry's made a mistake at the top of the hill. Did he get through that as a back marker? I think maybe made a wobble.
I think he did.
Yeah,
just about.
No, Sterry's still there. It was just really difficult to tell who was who on that head-on shot. They're coming down the hill. Like I say, that was a great shot this morning. We can't see a thing now.
This is obviously a case of almost the inevitable here, I think.
Here we go then. Conrad's going to go down the inside.
Same as before. We've missed the actual move, but we're pretty confident. He had the inside line. I'd be amazed if he doesn't come out in our next shot. On top, as they're trying to stem that inevitable flow, really. It looks like he's gone into the lead to me. There's Conrad. There's Sterry. So, okay, so Conrad Mewse back where he feels like he obviously belongs. 1-1 going for the overall. But if he was disappointed in the first one, he's going to be even more angry. He's going to be an angry overall winner.
Yes. But I think, in fairness to the camera guys there, I think that if you pan right now, that bit there is going to just be complete darkness. There's going to be nothing in there to see. He's bad enough coming up the hill. So Sterry then back to second, but he's had 2 good races today. He'll come away thinking, well, we're second in the points. Okay, Conrad's on a rip. He's the guy that everybody's expecting to win. We finished second. We just need to be better at Canada.
Listen, you've got to stay in the game, haven't you? How many times have we seen it down the history of all the sport? I mean, notably, the first one that springs into mind was the Supercross Championship last year. Eli Tomac, he's going to win it. He's going to win it. Fine up the... No, he's not. And Sexton was there to pick up the pieces. So, this is just round 1 of 8. Long way to go.
No, so it'd be interesting to see whether Adam is happier with his second than Conrad is with his win. But this was where Conrad made a bit of a mistake. But you can just see the low sun and the shadows absolutely playing havoc. An overcast day at Hawkstone is always better than what we've got here. But it has been, the track was, like I say, it was quite hard underneath. It's been dry since the International pretty much. I know they put it, they flattened it all off and sealed the surface to protect it against the weather, but I think that this has been one of the most unsandy Hawkstones that we've had in a long time. There's the 7 of Louis Kessel. But there's your race leader then, the 426 of Conrad Mewse on the True 7 Crendon Honda. Oh, this is the drop off.
That's cool.
What a shot.
And that looks nothing. Doesn't that look anything? The elevation drop that you're seeing when the rider comes into view on the right-hand side of that shot and then goes out of it on the left, they've probably dropped about 200 foot or more from when they come in elevation. Maybe even more than that, I would say.
It's a long way down that hill. So here should be, I think our race leader has already gone through, because I think Louis Kessel gone through and he passed him at the top of the hill. So race leader Conrad Mewse, second Adam Sterry, third Josh Gilbert, fourth Jamie Carpenter, fifth Brad Todd, and then it's the 33 in 6 of Ben Edwards. I've got a feel for Josh Gilbert a little bit, because obviously he's getting himself into the lead. He lost all of his momentum with that issue, and I don't think it was a bike problem, but if he could have just hung on to the lead for a few more laps, you never know, he might have managed to pull enough of a gap to hang on at the front.
Yeah, it just seemed to take the wind out of his sails, didn't it? He was there, he made all the moves, the quickest lap of the race at that point, and maybe if he ran it in deep in a wet spot down there, or got round a the gear shifter, the rear brake,
all sorts of stuff, Jeff. Exactly that.
Yeah, we don't know, but causing him a slight issue. But yeah, it was his mistake from what we could make out.
I think
he ran it wide.
As you get to the end of the waves there, it just kind of tightens up a little bit and goes a bit narrow, and then widens out again. And I think he just maybe missed it. He was going down the outside and missed the rut, and then he's ended up in the soggy stuff on the outside. We walked down there quite at the International, and it was really easy to get that badly wrong without doing much wrong at all. So that's what looks like what happened to the Lexa MX Honda of Josh Gilbert that caused him to give up the lead back to Adam Sterry a few laps ago. But here is our race leader then, Conrad Mewse, doing Conrad Mewse things and taking his another victory, 2:17. Bearing in mind that fastest lap in qualifying was a 2:09, so we're about 8 seconds off what we did in qualifying, and bearing in mind that the track is now beat to death.
Well, it's interesting to see how Sterry is, again, just kind of... Again, we don't think he's hit the wall as such, but I think he's just conceded.
There's
he's certainly 17 seconds
you see the jump there?
Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, the bit in the middle, that's actually a flat road. So they're dropping from there down onto a flat road and then jumping down again. It's absolutely excellent.
Yeah, I love that. And we got to obviously get more drone footage as we go along in this championship at varying different tracks. We've got to be careful at some of them. Might struggle a little bit when we get to Canada Heights. There's electric pylons and trees everywhere. But
you've got to be careful putting your own up there.
Yeah, but certainly when we get to some of the more open venues like Landrake and Preston and whatever, we should be able to fly with confidence.
Yeah. So have you got any battles further down the field, Jeff, that we can be having a look at?
I'm just looking at that. They're taking a lot of time. I mean, the gap now is really stretched out. I wouldn't say there's anything overly tight. Actually, they're still waiting for the likes of Brad Todd, Ben Edwards to come across the line to see the differences between them, because it's saying they're one lap down. Of course, they're not. It's just waiting for the timing to refresh. I think the top 10, to be honest, Phil, is pretty settled.
Yeah.
There's no obvious one standing out to me here on the times right now.
Yeah, at the end of the day, we can't show battles that aren't happening, and we'll continue to follow our watch the fantastic form of our race leader, Conrad Mewse. And like I said, he's come into the championship as the favourite without a doubt, and despite two what we would call fairly lousy starts by anybody's standard, he's ripped through the field and come back from 13th on lap 1 to lead this one with about 10 minutes to go.
I take that back. There is a bit of a tight battle going on now. All the times have popped up between John Adamson on the Lexa Honda there in 7th, Martin Barr on the Apico Honda, who we saw go out at the opening moto. We think he took a crash, beat all his peak off it, whatever. There's only there's less than a second between those two, and Carlton Husband is right there as well, only 2 seconds back. So the battle for 7th, 8th and 9th is arguably the best battle in the top 10 right now. We can
try and pick them up on the multicam. We will do that, but they're not
2 laps to go, I think, Phil. Have I looked at that? There is, yep.
So we're drawing to a close on this one. I think we just need to bring them home now, Jeff. This is, like I say, going to be... is this going to be the pattern for the year? We said this morning that we thought the MX2 class was going to be the one that gave us the most surprises. And I think that's gone pretty much to form. But I don't think that we'd have, if we sat down this morning, that we'd have thought we would have had to see Conrad Mewse fight his way through the field in the way that he's had to.
I mean, for the sake of entertainment, Dave Thorpe and Conrad and the team will obviously hate me for saying it, but I'm going to go out and say it anyway. For the sake of entertainment, we need him to get bad starts at every round. But he won't want that. He'd be fuming under that lid. He was after the first moto, and he won the race by I don't know how many seconds. But like I said, after the first moto, I love the mentality that he's now got. You know, he's looking at the bigger picture. He wants to win the British Championship. He's clearly excited the fact that they're going to go to America. He's not talking about, let's go over there and see how I get on. He wants to
win.
He wants to go over there and make a statement race when he goes there and be at the sharp end. So that's fantastic. To hear that kind of attitude from Conrad.
But, he's bringing it home with some style. That line there, that's the one that we saw in the MX2 race as well, from Billy Askew, just on that outside edge of that lump. But it's been a fantastic day's racing. We've had beautiful weather here at Hawkstone for the opening round of the Motul MXG British Motocross Championship, and Conrad Mewse wrapping up this final Apico MX1 race to go 1-1 and take overall victory. It's certainly what he will have had in mind.
I mean, yeah, look how much he's stretched it now. I mean, it's 26 seconds. I mean, at the start of the race, he was 20 seconds behind. So
one to
at
go.
the end of the day, like he's literally nearly, like the swing is nearly a minute. That's quite huge as he goes off on his last lap here. Keep on the island. As we said, Conrad will push all the way to the flag. There's going to be none of this like, oh, I'll just bring it in. He wants to make every lap count, regardless of his progression, getting faster and faster to ultimately try and go over there into the AMAs and maybe a couple of GPs and show the world what he's actually made of.
Yeah, just putting a lap there on the 74 of Tom Murphy, who's had a good run in 15th. It's been what I've also enjoyed is seeing the guys that we don't usually see at the British Championship. It's been, again, almost a full grid in this one. But there's been battles all the way down the field. Stewie Edmonds there, he's down there just outside the top 20 with Josh Canton, Jake Preston. But all of these guys are coming here and having a go. And it's been great to see. But Mewse certainly been the class of the field as the pre-race favourite anyway. No surprise, but certainly is watching him fire his way through the field. The best, the nice style, and again the sun and the shade on the various parts of the circuit now definitely going to be at their worst as we close in on this final moto. I'm not sure what the time is, but we've got to be getting to the good side of 5 o'clock if we're not there already. And as a result of that, very, very easy to get caught out. But this final run round the outside down through the waves, it's one of the bits of track that we never really get to see, and almost impossible to cover down there without having a dedicated camera, and it doesn't really add that much to the job. But here he comes then for the final time into the hole past the Troy Lee banners. It's already one of our many sponsors here this weekend. He's going to find his way up the inside of this back marker into the final turn and come through to take victory for the second time today in our Apico MX1 Championship. So a victory then for Conrad Mewse. Hopefully he will be a little bit happier this time than he was. Made hard work of it in the first one. We'll wait for Adam Sterry to come across the line. I'm not going to say he will have done his level best to stay with the race leader, but at the point when he realises that there's no point anymore, there comes Adam Sterry. So 2-2 for Adam Sterry, the 811 on the Chambers KTM on the day. That's a good result for him. And the 3-4 for Josh Gilbert will get the Cornishman on the podium on the Lexa MX Honda. John Adamson was running in 4th. He's dropped back to 10th. It's going to be a long while before we get all these riders over the line. There's Louis Kessel. But the pace of all these guys at the front, absolutely on rails. 21-second margin of victory then for Adam Sterry. Gilbert across the line in 3rd. So there's the moment that Adam Sterry put the pass on the 33 of Ben Edwards to take the lead as the rest of the field streamed through. Coming out of the woods on the first lap, 4.33. Jack Lindsay, he was a retirement. We saw him in the holding area, and then this is the pass for the lead. Like I say, the shadows playing havoc with the cameras, so we're panning round here. And that was the launch. And a win then for Conrad Mewse. So as Jeff is making his way towards the victory circle, the winner's circle. I just hope that you've enjoyed our coverage here of round 1 of the Motul MXGB British Motocross Championships from Hawkstone Park. We are very much looking forward to seeing you at round 2, which is, I think, on the 18th of May. We'll double check those dates, and is indeed 18th of May at Canada Heights, Swanley in Kent. The Sid Cup Club hosting us down there for round 2 of the championship. It's been a fantastic day's racing. We've seen Ryan Waggett take the win in the RFX 125 Championship. We've seen Bobby Bruce take victory in MX2, and Conrad Mewse then taking a 2 race wins for the overall victory in MX1. Our Phoenix Talks fastest lap winner then for that final moto obviously was Conrad Mewse, and we will go over to Jeff, who has him in the winner's circle.
In a few minutes' time. Thanks very much for coming. Take care.
Okay, that's the first round in the history books here at the Motul MXGB 2025 British Championship. Conrad, you were quite angry, quite livid, even though you romped the first moto. I should imagine it's a repeat of that. You didn't make the start you wanted. You had to work hard.
Yeah, I just messed the start up again on my behalf, which made life a little bit difficult. But I was happy with that one. My riding was better. We made some changes in between. Bike was working great in that one. I struggled a little bit in the first one, but speaking to Adam there after that one, he was struggling in that one. So I think the track is just in general very difficult today. But it was awesome. I loved every minute of it. 1-1. Perfect day to start the championship. And yeah, good job to the boys too. They rode awesome, and it's nice to have Stez back in the British paddock.
Just very quickly before you sign off, the track, yeah, it was a bit different, a bit drier than we'd normally expect it. Was that the reason why a little bit different with bike setup, finding your way a little bit as the day went on?
To be honest with you, I thought it was the opposite. I thought it was actually a bit wet. Like when we went out in qualifying this morning, the way I've been describing it today is it's more like the international than it is the British here. It's more a bit heavier and things like that, which all week I've been setting my bike up for hard square edge bumps, and yeah, it just weren't the one in the first one. But we made a quick change, and yeah, bike was working perfect. But massive thanks to Rob, my mechanic, for grinding away all the time. My team, Crendon True 7 Honda Racing, couldn't have done it without them.
Good stuff. Well done, mate. Congratulations on it. There you go. He's the overall winner, leading the championship. Obviously, Conrad Mewse on the Crendon Fast Track True 7 Honda. Conrad's going to move out of the way. We're going to speak to all the top 3 overall guys here very quickly. Let's bring in Adam Sterry. He's going to ride in. The beauty of an electric start means he doesn't have to fire it into life. I'm going to shake hand because it's just good to see you back in British Motocross, mate. Solid first day. I mean, Conrad's a tough guy to beat, but you gave it a damn good go.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, coming into it, we knew Conrad was the guy to beat, and yeah, for the first round, I guess it's not too bad, 2 second places. A little bit disappointed with my second half of the races. I don't know, the shock gets a little bit hot or something, and yeah, I can't ride how I want, and it's the first time I've come across it today. I don't know whether it's the track being harder than usual, but normally in the winter in the sand it was all right. But happy to be back in the British. Nice to race here at my local British Championship, and yeah, good start to the season. 2-2 could always be worse, and I had good starts, good aggressive on the first few laps. We just need to work on that problem for the second half of the races.
You might not have been happy about it, but you're going to make my co-commentator happy, because he actually called it in that first one. He said, I think something's wrong with the back end of Adam's bike in that first motor, and he saw it, and that's probably obviously what it was. The shock just maybe going off. But as we said, it's good to have you back. Great, obviously, with the Chambers racing team as well. How's that working? Nice fit coming back to ride for those guys.
Yeah, definitely. I just want to say thanks to Tim and Mike, obviously from Chambers. They believed in me, and yeah, it's nice to get a good result for them. And like I said, I'm happy. Everything's going really good. It's a good group of people, all pushing for the same goal. British team, and yeah, good to build from here. Now I've had a couple of bad years, which didn't help my confidence and stuff. So it's nice to build from there, and yeah, see what we can do and try and edge a bit closer and improve in the GPs and see where we are in the next few rounds.
It's good to have him back. It's great to have him back. Adam Sterry coming in second. Thanks, Adam. You moved out of the way. Well done, mate. Let's bring in the third place rider overall, Josh Gilbert for the Alexa team. Back on a Honda, but obviously now riding for a different team. Well done, mate. Good stuff. Josh, a solid day at the office. You know, you like we said, you want to be there or thereabouts in the opening round. You made it onto the box. We couldn't quite see what happened there. You got into the lead. You set the quickest lap of the race at that point, and then just out of our view, we couldn't see what happened. So tell us what did happen down there, bottom end of the circuit.
Yeah, I had a really nice line around the outside, and Adam was sort of up the inside, and I just kept the flow going, and I passed him where I made the mistake. So the lap before, I just carried some good momentum and went right around the outside of Adam, and then the next lap I come round there, and the line just went into a massive bog, and as I come round, I just hit all the water, and I just got a tidal wave of water where all the water had ran off to the side of the track, and they've dug a hole, and I got stuck in there. So I was on the clutch trying to get back out, and my hands are all wet, and it really knocked the wind out of my sail that day, because I was feeling good and feeling quite aggressive, because we've had a bit of a day today, I'm not going to lie, and yeah, I just forgot about all that in that race and knuckled down, and I thought we was on for a good race, and then that happened, and it just it did take the wind out of my sail a little bit, and then obviously Conrad went past, and I kind of just settled for third then after the day that I've had.
It was good, again, because we saw a load of steam come up, so we thought you might have had a bike issue, but I'm glad you've put this right with that. Well, listen, well done. Obviously, you're with a new team. How's that going? Tell us how it was with the guys over there at Lexa.
Yeah, it's good. We're doing the GP, so that's always really nice, and that's where I want to be and do. And then obviously being back on the Honda through, like I'm thankful to Chris at Lexa for giving me the opportunity to jump back on the Honda and see what we can do, and like Mark Eastwood with the suspension. It's all a privateer thing, so it takes a lot from just no manufacturer help. But yeah, we're doing what we can, and hopefully we can progress as the season goes on.
I hope you do that as well, and good luck in the next GP and also at the next British round. There you go, coming in third, Josh Gilbert for the Lexa team. Thanks, mate. You move on now. We're going to wrap this thing up. So there you go. It's just been a fantastic opening day here at the Motul MXGB British Championship 2025. Big shout out to the guys at Dirt Store for getting behind, obviously, the live stream. All our other sponsors, massive thanks to them. There's a huge list of them. I'm not going to reel them off now, mainly because I can't remember them all. We got that many of them. They're all on the logo behind me. There you are. So they get in there, name check. Don't forget, round 2 is on May the 18th at Canada Heights. We'll again be going out on Dirt Store MXGB-TV. Make sure you get there. If you're in the vicinity, rather than watching it on live stream, get there. You can always watch the live stream afterwards and support British Motocross. It's been such a brilliant opening day here at Hawkstone Park. Thanks for watching, everybody. Thanks to our crew, track marshals, everybody involved with British Motocross for this new era. We appreciate it. Remember to watch the socials in the week. There's loads going on. We got the Prox Pit Pass. We're going to do the Ride Race Cap. You're going to see all that. Loads of photos, load of video. Keep following the series. Keep enjoying it. Let's build it up and make British Motocross right back on the map where it should be. Thanks for watching. We'll see you on May the 18th.